I have found out that I can't possibly do Am I the Asshole because it's just people fucking crying about bullshit. I can't. I read like 7 of them. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna find one that we want to talk about. I'm like, no. I'm
Ooh,
like,
I came up with my
literally
own
everyone
actually.
sucks.
Hmm.
Perfect. That's better. I can deal with that. But the online
I
ones that
think
are
we can
on
all
Reddit are
find those
terrible.
moments in our life. Yeah, yeah. Hello, man. The night after. Look at us
Hello.
cranking them out. Look at us cranking it
Mm.
out together.
Nothing better than
Live
two dudes
show.
hanging out and cranking them out.
Yeah, dude. Nighttime crank. Got a
Yeah.
morning crank.
Now, granted, people
You're.
listening to this don't know that this is the next morning, so you've ruined any mystique about it and any being able to hide on it. So that's
Mhm.
good. That's good because they're hearing them maybe 2 week or a week apart or 5 days.
I
I
know.
don't know,
I've
man.
ruined.
It's a
I've finally
tumultuous
ruined the
time.
mystique of this podcast.
Yeah, yeah. This is it's
Whatever we
actually not
had.
professionally produced.
We just do it ad hoc.
Yeah, we don't have a. I know there's been a lot of rumors that we were being, signed to a big extensive deal with like Netflix,
Thing.
but those rumors are not true.
Yeah. Dude, our iHeartRadio just wants it. They want to push what we got.
Hmm.
We heard that
Joe
thing about you
Rogan's been
guys
talking
cranking
about
it.
Joe Rogan's been talking about us nonstop because he's afraid that
Mm.
we're going to dethrone him at Spotify. So there's that. But
Um,
whatever.
well, hello. Let's try to get the
Hi.
music going. Since as again, I whatever. Why is the production so much of a production? Is that why they call it that? Is that why production is called
Why is the
production?
what?
Because it requires
Why
work
is it?
and stuff and effort.
The root word produce is a pretty good indicator that you actually have to do something. You're
Yeah.
creating.
I didn't get into this podcast gig for the work. I got into it for the money.
Oh, then I am so sorry to say. We have actually officially lost money doing this podcast.
And we'll never stop.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
All
go.
right.
Let's
Good
go.
intro.
Um, we're also we're recording on Thursday on a day you have the day off, which is not like you. Why would you
That's
do such a
correct.
thing? What's going on? So when we were talking about it before, I was like, it's one of those things where I don't know if I'm embarrassed to ask because you already told me, but I'm like, I don't remember if we talked about this. It's just where I am in my life. I don't remember if we talked about things, and sometimes I don't ask people if I'm supposed to have known it already or not, and then I just don't ask. So I'm like, did you tell me why you're taking off this week and weekend or whatever? And I'm like, I don't remember, but now I'm just gonna admit it. I don't remember if we talked about it, and now I gotta know. Now I
All
gotta
right.
know.
Well, because it's there, this is taking off. This is bereavement pay. Um,
Okay.
based on based on a recent passing of Caitlin's grandfather, who is 99 years old. So he
No
made it
shit.
from 1924 to 2024, which is a pretty solid run. And up until like 5 years ago, he was living in a house by himself, driving. Um, so yeah, it's pretty wild. But work was good enough to let us take some time because we're obviously helping out with things on that front. Um, and so yeah, it's just it's the thing that you gotta do. It does leave you with downtime as well. But like I said, kind of going in from our terms and what I talked about yesterday, it's always take the time, folks. Focus on yourself. I'm saying that because I don't enough. Focus on like just slowing down and doing that stuff and taking the time. So that's why we were able to make this work. And yeah, That's about it.
Um, well, that's right. You did tell me that. Well, in private, I guess we didn't talk about it
Mm-hmm.
on the pod, but well, that's sad. Sorry for her. But 99 is a good life, isn't it? Like you should hope
That's
to live
solid.
99 years.
That's yeah.
Like
That's a good run. Like if someone
that's
was
like a
like,
whole nother life above the
someone's like, you
average.
got 60 years left in you, I'd be like, that doesn't sound right at all. Like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Well,
Like
think of the average is like what 72,
I have no clue.
something
I
like
have
that.
no freaking clue what the average American
I
lives to
think
these
it is
days.
depressingly low like that. And then he lived a
Really?
whole nother Kurt Cobain life. 27 years, Jimi Hendrix, probably
Wow.
just like him, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I assume.
Live
Yeah, I assume that that's kind of like at 70. Is it at 70 you start going like, if I'm on borrowed time, meaning like I'm gonna like if I'm retired at 70 years old, my thought is I'm gonna that's when I'm really gonna start. If I'm still around, I'm gonna really start doing stuff I've never done before. Even habitual stuff. Like you just start changing how you do things. Cause you might as well. You're gonna be bored. So what better way than instead of thinking like going out and necessarily having to do new hobbies and stuff, just start doing things differently. Change everything about your normal routine, your normal way of thought. And I think that'd be pretty interesting to do like a down day, but you just are doing stuff differently. So you stop watching the shows that you love. You tell yourself, I'm no longer going to watch anything I've watched before. Like simple stuff like that. Like I'm just not gonna do it. I'm gonna start having 2 meals a week that I've never had, or I'm gonna stop at stores that I've driven by for the last 25 years and I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna make a purchase too. Like anything. Like just to be like force yourself into minor changes so that you can feel like I'm literally starting to live a new life. Wouldn't that be wild to like plan that and try to stick to that?
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays
well,
off for him.
I would say um it's probably hard at that age because then people are so ingrained. Like, shouldn't you start sooner? Don't you think somebody in their 70s and 80s would tell you to do that right now, Jeff? Like versus waiting?
Yeah, in theory. And guess what? When you're working, everything changes. It
Oh, I
is.
see. Oh,
Like
so you're saying
you
you have
have to.
enough change now?
Well, no, it's just you have to focus and do like I don't know. It's you still have you're still trying to plan everything financially. Like, all right, first off, anyone who is of those ages now have like they were like no one worked beyond like 65 and people are just a lot of those people aren't dealing with the financial situations at our age that we're dealing with.
We
It's a
will have to
different
deal
world.
with. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's gonna get worse. So like that's great in theory and yeah you should, but you know what, you took a really neat idea and you like threw it back in my face as if I'm not doing it now. So you know what, Matt, shut
Well,
up.
it's fun to think
There,
that
that's my response to
we
that.
might get to retire. You
No,
think we're
it's
going to
cute, right?
retire?
It's adorable. It's an
No.
adorable concept. We're all gonna
Oh,
work until we
man.
die, so
I'm
whatever.
in danger.
Yeah, you bet,
Oh,
Ralph.
that's going to keep
Yep.
us young, though. It's going to keep us alive,
That
youthful.
working hard and
Yeah.
aggressively is gonna keep us young.
Having
That
to go to
seems
the
wrong.
sex robot factory every day and mimic
Get your
some random
your Marilyn
Insta
Monroe bot or your
model's
Lucy Liu
hands.
bot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to keep us youthful.
No, it's not, but thanks. I appreciate
Yeah.
it. So this is starting off on a real positive. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess, um, at least it's time for the family. It's always interesting, that kind of
Yeah.
environment around like somebody passing. It's weird, especially here, like the Italian side is like you bring cold cuts or whatever food to somebody's house and everybody just hangs there and eats. And it's like, I don't never understood that. And it's like, oh, I guess you just be around each other and then you don't have to worry about food and you just like be with it. It just like takes some of the pressure off or stress of like the day to day and you
Yeah.
just kind of
I
just
wonder.
exist, be with
Yeah.
each
Is it
other.
kind of like is it like, hey, it's the slow down appreciation factor too? Like, hey, we're all here. Let's catch up if we haven't caught up. Like, it's almost like just in case. Is it really like a just in case where it's like you bring the food so that that's not a concern, and then you're literally supposed to just sit and talk and catch up and enjoy your time because you have it. So like it's kind of the quick makeup. They're like, okay, like given that, I mean, yeah, I mean it's tough. Um, Grieving is a tough thing because everyone does it differently, and you're really hard pressed to do a good job of arguing that someone's not grieving properly. And a lot of people can't get that. Like, why aren't they crying? It's just because this person isn't crying right now in front of you. That's why they're not crying. Have you been crying the last 48 hours nonstop? Like, no. So like, don't worry about it. Why is this person joking? I'm sorry, but every time we have a gathering of me and my brothers, including funerals, we're laughing. We're making each other laugh. We're pointing out stuff, bringing up like old stories about family and stuff and laughing. Like, that's just what we do. I don't feel ashamed about it. If someone thinks that I'm not grieving something properly, I could not care less. That's weird that you concern themselves. So it's tough because you're trying to be there for people that need it, but you don't want to be overbearing because if they want to be alone, you want to respect that, but you want to know that you want them to know the offer's on the table. So, I've been telling, Caitlin, let your mom know if she needs anything, like if there's any stupid task that needs to be done that she's just like, ugh, and I forgot I have to do this and I just don't have time for it. Let me know, like by all means. So tomorrow, gonna help with some stuff, crunch time and everything like that. But yeah, it's if you get something out of it, he was a really nice guy. When I first met him, he was really pleasant with me. He was always like happy to talk to me and stuff like that. So, very, very good guy and happy to help out the family in any way I can. But yeah, grieving processes are weird. They're weird.
It is cool though that you got to meet your significant other's grandparent though, especially at our age in life, it's not really
Yeah,
much of an option.
that's
I mean, I
not
still have my
really,
grandma,
nope.
but I
Yeah,
have one
and
grandma,
she did get to
and I would
meet
be very embarrassed to bring anybody around her.
she did get to meet my one grandma as well before she passed away too. So, yeah, I didn't even think about that. That is not necessarily a given, but yeah,
If I,
yeah, it's good.
I know if I ever bring somebody around my grandmother, I think a couple girlfriends have met my family, but not as many. Very few.
Uh,
So you're lucky, lady, if you get to meet grandma.
oh man, oh
Um,
boy,
but
that's awful.
uh, but I know I just bring her around and be like, hey, grandma, this is whatever. This is Jolene. We met at
That's
darts.
the name you went
Yeah,
with, Jolene.
yeah, we met. And she would just go like, huh, whatever floats your boat. It's one of those, like, not a big deal, just one of those deals like, huh, what?
Do you
Okay,
think
whatever.
your grandma, because I can understand your grandma's reactions, like knowing her. Do you think you do think your significant other would undoubtedly think that grandma doesn't like them because
Oh,
grandma
for sure.
she's not overbearing. Like it's not like I
Yeah,
dislike the person. She's just like, all right, and like, cool,
yeah, it would be like,
moving on.
and
Right, right.
that's the
Like
news,
that's the
huh?
problem is.
All right. Did she bring any gin?
Ginny wants the gin. Let's go.
Yeah, but that's cool. It's a cool
Yeah,
aspect that you got to meet.
yeah.
All right. Well, someday. That's why I'm not going to have my 70-year-old guy plan is to have my first kid then.
Okay.
Like, I really want to leave my kids with a legacy of what a fucking asshole. Like, why did
Yeah.
he like graduate in high
Yeah.
school? Just, barely. But then I'll have somebody to absorb my debts.
There you go.
That's a
There you
solid
go.
plan. Yeah. So,
Yeah, dude, you say that and it's wild. There was someone I went to college with. We were freshmen the same year. And being connected on Facebook, with people that you don't really still talk to, but you have zero problems with, and you're like, yeah, they were pleasant for the memories I have regarding them. But it came up that like her father had passed away, and this was a couple of years ago. And I remember reading the obit, and like he was like, I think he was 90, and I'm just like, wow. I'm like, her dad was in his 90s, and like it just blew my mind. But it's like I forget that, especially on the guy side of things. Like, yo, that's going down. Like that's still a thing. Like, just kind of keep going. Like it's 1820. Like let's just have, guys are out there having like 5 wives, five kids with each wife, and just go until the end.
I don't know how we've not
that's a
evolved.
thing.
Like for women, usually you can't really get pregnant, especially after like 50. I mean, it gets dangerous, obviously, closer. I mean, the way technology works, it can happen later and later now. But shouldn't the same be for guys? I mean, outside of like snipping it, shouldn't our balls just stop producing children, basically? And it's like, why? Why are we evolved to still be able to make a child in our 70s? That's just mean. That's cruel.
That's not even evolved. That's not even evolution. That's just like God forgot to put an expiration date on our nuts. Like that like it is ret to go. Puberty,
or does
to
it
forever,
happen anyway? And I just don't
guess.
know. Yeah.
What does what happen? Babies?
That's just
No,
superseded.
that
If you're in your 70s and you can still make a kid, you've got superpowers. It's probably most of us, it just doesn't work. We got like 3
I
swimmers.
just don't know. No, I don't think that's accurate. I think most of us just aren't doing that. Like I don't think most people in their 70s are going out finding young tail to impregnate. I don't hear a lot about that.
That's true. You got to be real rich.
I haven't met those people. Like,
yeah, it must be Mick Jagger or something. Maybe it's just him. Who I'm
yeah,
thinking of.
Yeah, I mean, he's still getting chicks pregnant, ain't he?
Yeah.
Doesn't Mick Jagger have like a 2-year-old and I don't know,
many children, many stones? Well, shall we?
Like
shall we spin the wheel of destiny? No, we can't. That's another word. We got to come up with a name of the wheel.
Yeah. Well, that's for
Clinker
for next time. We'll
Spinny.
put a bunch of options on. Can we put up with a bunch of options, put them on a wheel to name the wheel so that the wheel picks itself?
The reinvention. That's a lot of good stuff. Cool. Let's share the wheel.
Let's go. We need like a song that plays when we start bringing in the wheel. You do realize that, right? Or
we do need
sort
segue.
of like
station
some clip or something like that.
Yeah, if there's some kind of show or thing about a wheel, we should take that. Can't think of one, but
hit us up, StrangeFam. Do our work for us.
I know. Where's all these tunes? Where's all these shows that have good fans that send them content to you, so we don't have to try so hard?
Right.
making this really hard for us.
For anyone that suggests something that we use, we're going to make you an executive producer.
Yeah. So. You will get a shout out. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You will get in on the profit sharing.
I was going to say, you'll get in on the profits that we make from that episode. So whatever percentage of zero, name your price.
Well, that also means you owe us a little money for sharing it. All right. Actually, let's go.
All right. It's going to be something that I'm not ready for still.
Relationship advice. Well, so what I've done for this is instead of doing Reddit, I downloaded fucking idiot. I downloaded questions from the internet. I looked up questions.
Jeez.
Download. No.
Yeah, what else did you do?
Like relationship questions. So things to ask your partner. So I downloaded. Why do I keep saying downloaded?
My God, he's so old.
Oh my God.
Send it to me in the emails.
So I copy and pasted a bunch of questions from a list that was like relationship questions, things to ask your partner to deepen your knowledge of them. So I'll just pick one of those to ask between us, and we will deepen our relationship.
Oh,
to
good.
get
Yeah,
a
no,
little get
we
deeper.
should do
Let's
that.
crank this relationship deeper.
That's
This is sort of, well, maybe I'll modify this question. So
a good
the
start.
question is, what do you think happens after death? So maybe knowing each other, we probably think we might just rot in the ground, per se, just because of our religious beliefs. But I think in the spirit of being, like open to new ideas and open to, I want to be open. So in a positive light of it,
Correct.
like, what do you hope happens?
Ooh, ooh.
So, so I don't want
Um,
it to be
I
just
don't
not
think
just like
there.
the human thing,
So
but just
yeah,
like, and not outside of like legacy and stuff like that. But like,
it's an agnosticism. I used to think I was an atheist, but I'm not. I'm agnostic. I am open to the
okay,
idea, and I realize that I don't know what the answer is.
same. I agree.
Um,
All right, I was a little harsh
so
with it. Yeah,
yeah, atheist is aggressive. People that are atheists, like, all right, pump the brakes.
yeah.
But yeah, the reality is I am a very much a science guy, but I can't get over the concept of like consciousness. That's the problem. That's how I can't believe that you just die and rot and go into the ground. You your
Yeah.
brain isn't something. Your body or your brain is a physical thing. Your body is a physical thing. And it is, as when weird people said, they're like it's the vessel. It is. It's not you. You are the consciousness that you are experiencing. So where does that go? It doesn't just shut down. Like, so there's a physical and there's not. And I don't know what happens. So the consciousness, I'm hoping what it is that it's, I think it'd be interesting to just be in a state of like enlightenment. I don't know exactly how to perceive that. I don't have a visual concept of it. I can't put it into like a physical form. But one of my buddies, literally this past week at work, said to me, he goes, think of it this way. If you put a dog in a library, it doesn't understand that it's in a library and what the library is offering around it. He goes, what makes you think that we're not that? And I go, holy crap. Like, we're just too simple in this form to understand the universe, to understand essence, like existence and stuff like that. So I actually really, I'm kind of bought into that, because I always thought consciousness goes against science. The concept of that type of life goes against science. Um, so I like to think that it's something in that idea, is that we will receive some sort of enlightenment. And I don't know where it goes from there.
Yeah, I like that. I thought it's not. I don't know why I said rot either with it, because it's like rot in the ground. I guess the way we think of it, but I think there's some kind of beauty to like the physical body being in the ground and then becoming part of the earth. You know what I mean? Like putting your energy, whatever physical being you have, and it going back into the earth. I think it's actually like a really beautiful natural thing. I think it's cool that we get to have that in a way. Like, so whatever, the earth absorbs us, whether it's like through the environment, the bio, whatever that exists, like you become part of it, and the earth, um, like just it uses your body, like you still become one with the earth, which is very cool. But with the subconscious thing, yeah, or like some kind of, like, my dad's big on that, like the spirit. Like he always talks about like the spirit world, and I'm like, I don't know how to like measure. You're right, you can't measure it. And part of me is like, is it? I mean, it's nice to believe that because it's gives you hope and something to look forward to.
Well, that's what religion was
But
supposed to be, right? It's
yeah,
turned
yeah,
into
and then
something drastically
yeah.
different.
But I would love to be like, I hope there is something we don't know about, and maybe sort of like a karmic thing. And if karma's real, I mean, maybe, I guess some people have more experience than I have with it. Maybe you got to be really open to it, of like considering another life, or maybe I have. Maybe that's what certain deja vu feelings are like, or certain dreams out of nowhere come from. But I think it'd be awesome to be like repurposed on just like a whole, in a whole different universe, as a life form you never could exist that ever happened. Like, it's not even like a human form. It's like maybe you're your own whole dimension or something like that, because we can't even imagine the scope of it. Maybe we become a universe ourselves, and there's enough for everybody, for all of humanity, because the universe is infinite. Maybe we are time. Maybe we become time. We're a flat circle. Just like our
There you go,
concept, like
man.
we can't even imagine.
Go as
We're
deep as
just
you want.
an invisible, ethereal, like some kind of thing. That's what some folks say too, even with like ETs, extraterrestrials coming down. Like, why would they care about us? Or if they did, they could see us or be with us, or we wouldn't even notice because we don't have the tools to see, or they could be in literally a different dimension from what we can see and visualize and smell and taste, anything like that. I mean, I think it's different than kind of like an angels thing or a ghost thing. I mean, it's something we can't even think of. Like angels is too easy. Ghosts is too easy. Like those are the first things we thought of in our early
Right.
adoptions of
when we're like, oh, okay,
humanity. Yeah.
people are dying and dying's sad, so how can we make it happy? Oh, another version of you just goes up into the clouds and gets to watch over, like, and see from the sidelines.
Yeah.
You're retired from the sport of human.
Yeah. And I hope it's not that. I don't want to necessarily have to come back and just watch people and not be a part of it. You just got to ghost and watch people, watch people do life.
Oh, don't do that.
Kind of weird.
Oh, boy.
You get to move on to something else completely different. Somehow pass along to your next dimension. Like what? I don't know. That's what I hope anyway.
Yeah.
We'll see. You're right. This is a very death heavy episode.
When one of us will die and report back.
Well, it's so weird. Like, it is the universal experience. We all do it. We all witness it. We all experience it. It's crazy. It's crazy though, bro. Dude, was this the whitest guy segment we've ever done? Like philosophizing on death from our own. I don't know. Did that get too white guy podcasting?
Listen.
It didn't have any farts in there, so.
If someone hasn't had a conversation about what happens after you die, then that's really weird, because it's a simple conversation that you can have with really anyone of any age. Throw together theories. And what the best part is age or not, doesn't matter how old someone is or anything like that. No one can disprove the other people. So it's kind of an interesting conversation, because I think you can have it with children and just go like, oh, okay. And because they could be right. Your answer might be stupid and completely wrong. And the 6-year-old who just pulls something out of their ass could actually be crushing it. So it's kind of an interesting concept with that.
Or at least 6-year-olds are very open with their questions. Like, they just really want to know. They don't have maybe at 6 you could have some like preconceived ideas from your parents, but at least like you've got at least a willingness to be open and want to learn and want to understand.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't remember. I was still pooping my pants. All right, let's go.
Wheel of convenience. The wheel of convenience.
More small talk. Jeez, how do you do that? Oh no.
All right. Well, let me see
good
here.
Small talk. Let me tell you about hockey last night. Let me tell you about a little pain in my back that I got going on. How's that for small talk?
Perfect.
Dude, I ate shit last night so hard. My second game back. I felt like it was more physical yesterday. For some reason, the boys were revving out there. They were going. And it got a little, not too physical, but like I tripped a kid on accident. Like there's a couple guys ran into each other. Then I lost. I'm still prone to losing balance, especially because I went harder yesterday. And I full on like lost and just landed. Like if you could try to land on your tailbone perfectly, I did it. And hockey pants are padded, but I still felt it. I'm feeling it today. Like just the tailbone to the lower back. Old man in it today. It's pain, dude. But not bad. I mean, I'm still mobile. I'm hoping it's not one of those things that's worse tomorrow, even though it will be. But I did get 2 goals. Got my first 2 goals in the men's league.
Nice.
Got a couple assists too. It's funny because there's these the guy I play with, like two guys and like three of us. We had like a 3-on-1 at one point. We did like a full flying V Mighty Ducks kind of play. I mean, I'm not great. I participated, but like passed over to me on the open net. But instead of like trying to put it back in, I backed it, did a backhand pass to another guy on the other side of the net, like a little triangle, and then he just tapped it in, and I was like, beauty, a real beauty, a real old man goal. Just like pass first, and then we play with these high school kids, and everybody hates them. They're just like, kids just try to fucking skate around everybody, and they always lose the puck. They're like 15 years old. And I was like, yeah, it's probably the only time he gets to touch the puck since he rides the pine for the high school team. It's just like just burning these kids.
Good, just demoralize
just trying to
them.
show off. But yeah, man, I'm playing the old man style. I look to pass first because I do not have the dangles. Nice. I've had a couple shots on net, but yeah, a couple ugly goals, as we call them. They're right at the front of the net for the rebounds. And nobody will know except for me, but it felt pretty good. It's worth it. I take a shot to my tailbone every day for a goal, if you know what I mean.
I hope that's just hockey talk. I hope there was no underlying.
That's locker room talk.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have the last few days. I have also engaged in physical activity. The last 3 mornings, I have gone to the gym. So pretty excited about that. We're talking gym
for cardios.
Work.
Are you pumping weights?
Yeah. I'd like to get into weights, but I have no fucking clue what I'm doing because I do get burnt out when all I do is cardio X amount of days a week. Like it gets boring, it gets burnt out. So I really wish like it was like how it was when I was in college and in like my 20s when people were like, yo, you want to go to the gym together? Like, and we'll just, cause like there was guys that knew what they were doing and could tell me exactly what to do. And then I could just do that. But between not knowing what to do and not knowing proper forms, there is no more helpless than I feel at the gym. Like that is one of the top places I have felt out of place and uncomfortable. So I really got to
What's the
figure
vibe
out
of your gym? Is it like, are there like cutoffs and like big?
I mean, there's definitely people that
dudes?
are yeah, it's really all over the scope. It's called Edge Fitness. It is a chain down here at least. So more Jimmy than like Planet. I actually used the sauna for the first time today for like 13 minutes. That was interesting. Ooh. Luckily everyone was clothed in there, so no awkward like old man just going in and being like, what?
Like, I'm trying to think.
They're not wearing like button down shirts. They're wearing like gym.
Oh,
what?
Yeah.
Like gym shorts and gym shirt, like workout clothes.
Gotcha.
Like, people are going in that as opposed to just getting stark ass naked. But yeah, I mean, I don't feel or see heavy judgment. It's just I don't know what to do. Like, so I'd get frustrated, I guess, probably more than feel like I'm being looked at. Like I just would be very angry that I'm wasting time because like I want to go in there with a plan, be able to do the plan and leave, but I don't know enough about weights and stuff like that. So I wish I just had like a gym buddy that I could go with that he knew what he was doing, or she for all I care, and be able to do stuff. So I got to get into that, or try to just research it myself through the fucking internet. And my goodness, people, if you try researching like, what dresser should I buy or something like that, try looking up how to work out. You will get flooded with just so many different things. It doesn't help. It literally doesn't help. The internet does not help you because people will give you 100% different contradicting things, especially if you're like how to get lean, how to build muscle, how to lose weight. Nope. There is no consistency. There's no general accepted rule of thumb. So lots of luck, fucker.
It changes all the time.
Yep.
I love seeing this, like one of the ads I get on YouTube. Sometimes it starts out, it's like metabolism killer, Oh, I want to lose weight. I'm going to do cardio. And they're trying to make fun of the guy who's saying that. It's like, if you want to burn fat, you can't do cardio. And I was like, I don't know. I've done a lot of cardio. I've probably lost like 15, 20 pounds this year, whatever it's last year from doing cardio. And I've gotten stronger because I do some dumbbell. I mean, I was the same way with the weights, because I would just go to the elliptical, and I just started like I just go now and get a couple dumbbells, get a bench, and I just do a few different exercises there. I do like a circuit of like four or five different things. So I'll do like whatever, like a back thing, where you pull it up on the side, and I do like
Mm-hmm.
shoulder press, bench press, curls, and a tricep thing. Then I'll do like a squat, like just a free weight or body weight squat, and I'll do like three times through of those exercises after I do the elliptical. And I feel like it's a good, I mean, I need to do more. Like that was my way of introducing myself into the weights again. And now I think
Mm-hmm.
that got me over the anxiety of going over to where the people are pushing the weights,
Yeah,
which is the hardest thing, walking over there and being like, oh, fuck. You feel like you're in the fucking
they're looking at me.
lion's
They're looking
den
at
of
my
people.
numbers.
I know. And that's like all these people are doing is looking at themselves, really.
That's true. Yeah.
I know. Even though it's so funny when you're worried about what people are looking at you for, and it's like they don't care. They're just looking at their butts in the mirror. I can see them through the mirror doing it.
Mm.
It's a beautiful thing. Butts on butts on butts here. A lot of people working on those lunges, those squats.
Yep.
Yeah. So I would say just get yourself a pair of tight jean shorts and go push some weights. you'll never
Some
go
sort
back.
of like a cropped like sweatshirt or something like that, and look like you're an extra on the set of Karate Kid or some nice 80s teen movie.
All right.
So
That was a hell of a small talk, Sesh.
well, another small talk I want to bring up is I believe next week we have the return of Jon Stewart to the Daily Show.
Oh yeah, I didn't know if that was real. It's real,
which is pretty incredible. Yeah. So after 9 years, and Trevor Noah, who, I mean, take him or leave him, it just felt like it wasn't the Daily Show anymore. But now it's going to, because it's Jon Stewart's going to be back in action. And whether or not you agree with Jon Stewart's views, one thing he was able to do, and I can at least speak for myself, but probably goes for a lot of people in our age group, is that addressing politics the way he did through comedy and stuff, like, helped be able to talk about politics and learn about stuff as it was unfolding just by watching that show. Like, I would I liked watching that show because it was funny, but secondarily you're learning a lot about politics, because even if you didn't like his take on it, they did start with the factual information of things that were happened, said, anything like that, and then of course they would put their comedy on it.
I think he'll speak a lot for people, I don't know, like us, that are more like common sense about, or want to be, that are like really sad that it's going to be Donald Trump and Joe Biden running for president again. And that just,
Right.
it really makes me sad deep in my heart that as a country, this
Yep.
is what we've chosen for ourselves.
Yep.
And he's going to speak to that, I think. And he's going to speak to the idea of like late stage capitalism, and how like a lot of stuff that he still has been working. He just hasn't been on the Daily Show, but he still
Right.
like really supports cause. Like he's like the only person that vocally still supports like 9/11 first responders and like what they go through with their everything with the health. He like speaks for the people more than a lot of other people, and he talks about how come Walmart as a big company brags about raking in billions of dollars, yet their workforce, I think, is one of the largest company-based workforces that uses food stamps and benefits, and we subsidize that. We're subsidizing their workforce with our tax dollars versus this multi-billion-dollar company paying their workforce so that they can get food and things that they need. So he speaks a lot about stuff like that still, about how there's just a whatever. I mean, we all get it. We're all really happy. We're all stoked about the way this country is, and how if you're not a big company, then you kind of suck dicks. But I think he'll bring some levity to that, hopefully, and maybe his purpose is to make us not feel as bad about what's going to happen, and we know it's going to happen.
No, we're not going to feel about it, not feel bad about it. We're just not going to he's going to numb the feelings.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Whatever.
I'm down.
Yep. If it's not going to change, at least make me stop thinking about it.
I know. Well, he did. He really got us through like the, I mean, he was there at 9/11 and then the Iraq War and all that stuff that was going on. And he kind of made it not as bad. Well, for the people that are just here making podcasts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I look forward to it. To a new take, a fresh take, an old fresh take,
An old fresh take
on old fresh politics. You know,
on old guys who are no longer fresh.
Yeah. And
what else we got on the wheel?
Wheel, here we go. Let's go, wheel. Show me how. Oh, there was a wheel of fortune. News story. So I have one that I found that sorry, this is going to get political again.
Whew.
But one of my favorite sites or Reddit things to check out is something, I don't know if I must have found this from, I don't know if it's from Not the Onion or whatever, but it's from the middle of January, published in the Oklahoman newspaper. It's where I get all my news. Oklahoma bill would require furries be picked up from school by parents / animal control. So as a House bill says, students who purport to be an imaginary animal or animal species or who engage in anthropomorphic behavior, commonly referred to as furries at school, you can't go to class anymore or be in school activities. This is put forward by Representative Justin Humphrey, who you know is a closet furry. This guy's got to be as furry as fuck.
Oh yeah,
like he's got to be.
Absolutely.
Nobody puts this for like who are these kids hurting? It's just whatever. It's one of those like who cares things like that somebody's getting triggered about.
Because the bill only attacks children. Like, man, you're insecure. Like, you're not even talking about the act itself. You're just saying kids can't be doing this at school. What if my kid has to be around a kid who thinks it's an animal? My kid's gonna end up a gay animal. Like, whoa, Chief,
it does go there.
Slow down.
It's gonna become a gay transgender leopard.
Right. And it's
where does it end?
Dude,
where does it end?
Where does it start, guy? Like, you son of a bitch. Yeah. Like, my God, you're just a politician. Like I get you're from East Bumfuck, like, and I get that your state. Listen, while all of us people that are in the adult states that are trying hard to exist, we know that you guys love being just these, good old homeboys, and like these are the problems that you legitimately concern yourself with. But fucking Christ's sake, dude, drop this guy off in downtown like Manhattan for like a week and just see how he exists. Just make him like hang out on the subway. Like fucking.
I mean,
Christ.
Things got to be pretty good though if you're worried about furries. And it reminds me of the time I don't know if I told you this, in college, at the end of sophomore year, or at the end of every school year, they would have the class elections for the next year. So whoever was freshman that year were running for sophomore class presidents and whatever treasurers, whatever they do. So my buddy Zach and I think Tozer, but we got involved in the election, and we started posting ads around campus for people that were running. I forgot their names. One's name was Saul. I don't remember the other kid's name. Preston. That's right. It was Preston.
Are you doing like a smear campaign? So what was
yeah,
this?
So we would like say, so one of them was like Preston. It was all negative. So like, we'd say like Saul robs the handicapped, and we made a picture of him like holding somebody up in a wheelchair. Then we had Preston is a pervert, so we had him dressed in like a full furry outfit, I think, or something like that. And
did you do that? Wait, are these guys going against each other?
Yeah, they were.
Oh, so you're doing smear campaigns to both sides?
Yeah, we had no dog in the fight at all.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And like we had a bunch of, so between the two of them, like we would just, but it reminded me like, and the pervert won. People were into it. Actually, those guys ended up finding out it was us, and they were like, "Oh, this is fun. This is hilarious." Like, we brought levity to an election that a lot of people were not down with. They were very upset that Preston and Saul, two 18-year-old white guys, were running for the office of class president. Just the same thing over and over. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what's wrong with being a furry. It's not like these kids are fucking each other, I don't
as
think
with
so.
everything
Anyway, I
else,
think they
is it
just like
hurting?
dogs.
Is it hurting themselves? Is it hurting someone else? No, I don't give a shit.
Don't say hurting. You can't say hurting. You can't say flock.
What?
You can't
Oh,
say. You
hurting.
can't use any kind of
Ha
yeah.
It's not a coincidence that a group of crows is called a murder. Therefore, furries are dangerous.
Uh-huh. Well, he's like, you gotta have animal control come and get him. Otherwise, like, what the fuck is that?
That's in a bill.
Yes.
He proposed that to be law. That's how much of a
Yeah.
fucking dingleberry this guy was.
Yeah, he could like
good
write out a
Lord,
bill about
find something to do.
common sense gun control or like safety
I was just gonna
standards.
say, nah, gun control.
or
We're
things
good
like
on that. I'm like, that's not that's not the problem at schools. It's the fucking Furbies.
No, yeah.
You idiot. Or
No.
furries, whatever. Furbies are a problem too. At least they haven't been for like 20 years. But
You know what? And if I had a kid in Oklahoma right now, until that bill is passed, he's a furry every day from now on. He's a furry.
Fuck it. Actually, I'm forcing my kid to go to school like that. I'm actually gonna do the adverse. I'm gonna be like, dude, I need to use you to make a point against this guy. So I'm gonna need you to start telling your friends you identify as a chipmunk. Is that cool? All right. I'll give you $50. Yeah.
Poor kids.
That's
tough to grow up in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma sounds like a great place to grow up, if we're being honest.
All right.
If we have any fans in Oklahoma, please feel free to reach out and talk to us about it.
Yeah, I know. Come on. Share your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Hot news. All right, spin again. Guess we're just ripping through these things too quick.
I can't.
Relationship. We can do another question. These I got a lot of.
What is it? The relationship.
The relationship advice.
Oh,
so
okay.
these I have.
Well, here. Yeah, go for it. No, do it.
We could do another cue to deepen our crank.
Sure.
As we said.
Deepen our crank. Perfect. Oh,
here's one. Here, let's get intimate, real intimate. Ugh. You're gonna hate talking about this, I feel like. Oh, what's your favorite quality about yourself?
Oh my fucking god. That's not even a good one to put in at that point. Why was that?
I was just trying to break the awkwardness. Hey, that's how I handle it.
Man.
I handle it with
Grow up.
It is hard. Where's your mind going? Talk me through it.
I don't know.
Is it hard to think of something or just one thing?
No, it's I have too many great qualities. That's usually the problem. That's usually the problem with people with anxiety have is they're like, I'm tired of being so great. I don't know. I guess one decent quality is that I do enjoy teaching people. I like passing on knowledge to people. I think I do a good job of identifying, wording things the way people need, if they need visuals, if they need analogies. So I take pride in the type of work that I do, in that I get to teach people. And I know that a lot of people don't learn new information easily. And it's really gratifying when people say, hey man, like, or they'll like, we survey people. And if I get mentioned specifically in a free form survey saying like, everything was great, but Jeff really, the way he teaches really helped me, or anything like that. He pointed out, took extra time to blah, blah, blah. Like that stuff means a lot to me. So, I'd say that's one of my best qualities.
It is. That means you got patience sometimes, right?
You'd think, but that's not it.
If you get paid for it. Yeah.
Teaching and no, but it's not even that. It's teaching and patience aren't the same thing. Well, yes, I'm patient. I'm not tolerant. So maybe I'm mixing those, because I hate bullshit. Like I have no fucking tolerance for like, I will help someone if they're trying to help themselves. But if they start pissing and moaning, I'll fucking write you off in a heartbeat. Like, that's why it's weird. It's like, if you are trying to better yourself, I will be with you every step of the way. But as soon as you give up or you expect me to do the legwork, nope, fuck you. I'm out. So. You bet.
I agree. Like that's one of my pet peeves lately at work is like, because I have to do a lot to help other departments sometimes and stuff, and they don't
Mm-hmm.
help themselves. So like,
Mm-hmm.
how far do you got to go to keep helping people if they don't even try to help themselves or care? It's very frustrating. I guess that's basically work. There's people who do it and there's people who don't. And
Yep.
unfortunately, if you're on the people who do it side, you basically get fucked. I mean, with
Mm-hmm.
money, but still, it's still a gentle fucking some days.
Dumb.
I would say empathy. I do. I mean, I've thought about it in the last few years. Like, I feel very proud of my development of empathy because I think it's like
Okay.
almost getting back to the John Stewart stuff and who we are as Americans and a species is just having that develop because it is a skill to like really put yourself out there and try to like hear where somebody's coming from or understand them, ask questions, and feel for somebody um, in most situations. And it's hard. It's not like it's easy, but I think by doing that, I've been able to be better at opening myself up to like new ideas. Like I'm comfortable changing my mind now if somebody gives me new information or tells me how they're feeling about something and I didn't know that before. And that's really hard. I would say a lot of people don't do that, put themselves out there to be open or malleable um, to change their opinions or to feel for somebody. Um, and a lot of people don't. And unfortunately, because you see it every day, but to have that doesn't mean somebody's right, but when you open yourself up, when I open myself up to at least trying to understand where somebody's coming from and see if it influences the way I consider a situation. Number one, I guess I can understand more people in different ways, but also I think it kind of helps me be happier sometimes versus like fighting it, versus fighting people's opinions or thoughts or my feelings of them instead of like getting into that conflict. And it's not 100% obviously, but I
The
think it at least subdues some of like my initial what could be
the
negative reactions or opinions, thoughts like that.
the tough part is it's that's like half of it, and it's like the realization that you're willing to change and you respect opinions are just that, they're opinions. Like it's okay to have differing opinions, and like that used to be really hard for me to understand that there's differing opinions, but that it doesn't fucking matter that people have a lot of opinions.
Right.
If they differ, it doesn't matter, and like we have to accept like, hey, I think this. Oh, well, I see it as this, and this. Oh, all right. Well, I disagree. And then you move on. Like, but you both can still be happy. You both can talk about the next thing. Like, I think we get really harped on worrying what people's opinions are on certain topics. And it's just like, I really don't care if someone disagrees with me. It's okay for me to disagree with them, but more importantly, it's okay for them to disagree with me, and accepting that takes a load off your shoulders. I think that can really ease anxiety and just being like, oh, yeah, it'd be cool if we agreed on the same thing, but we clearly don't. Moving on. Like, I think there's not enough of that. So yeah, empathy is important. Um, I still have a trouble with it. Not that I don't want to be empathetic. I think it's tough to be empathetic and to have convince people that you're being sincere, because I think some people think that if you're too quick to be empathetic, then they think you're like chastising them. Like
That
that's
is
just the
funny.
fucked
Yeah.
up thing that
Yeah.
we've done as society,
Yeah.
is people think that you're putting them off if you empathize with them too quickly, or like without, like you said, like asking, like really trying to get learn empathy, like the find out someone's plight, find out some background about it. But then also, people, if you ask to act, if you're trying to get background to be empathetic, like more of appropriately empathetic, people think you're being invasive. Why are you asking me this? And it's just like we've already fucked ourselves as a society, and it's really hard for people to try to turn over the new leaf and try to be empathetic and understanding and accepting, because people just assume they're being attacked now. And that's frustrating when you really are not trying to attack someone and they think you're attacking them, and you're just like, all right, I guess I'll cross you off of the empathy book because like you're a lost soul. Like, see ya. If you think that my approach is too aggressive, and I'm just trying to communicate with you. But I mean, I get that feeling a lot from people.
Yeah, and that's true. The empathy part doesn't guarantee like a positive relationship moving forward. It just means like I can at least give somebody a chance. And maybe because it's a lot of like dealing with customer service shit where it's like I'm gonna get really bummed easy if I don't give somebody at least the space to say something or talk about something. And it's like most of the time people just like I say it when I do trainings for customer service stuff, and it's like empathy is like a skill and it's like a muscle and you have to work at it because it's not easy to do that naturally. We don't live in a society that rewards empathy at all in
Mm-mm,
any way. In
mm-mm.
fact, it's the
That's a good way of
opposite.
putting it.
That's what
Yep,
capitalism is fucking over other people for your own
you bet.
gains. That's exactly how we're designed as a society and as a species. So it's
That's
really
like
hard to go against like your natural way of being, but it can be rewarding. But also, like most people don't want that much from you, and so sometimes it's easy to be like, people just want the space sometimes to say what they're feeling. And it also doesn't mean that people feel that. Like when you're talking about an opinion they might agree with, sometimes somebody might feel that way just for that minute. And then later on, they're like, I don't know why I was saying that. I just had to say it. I don't really feel that way all the time. I just did it that moment and I needed to say it to somebody. And like, that's a good spot to be like, yeah, that sucks. Or most time people just want to hear somebody to like vent to or just share how they're feeling. And I had to stop fighting that. Going back to like that first Texas relationship, used to fight it all the time. Feelings, like my girlfriend's feelings. Like, no, how do you feel that way? I think we've talked about it before. Like, no, those your feelings are wrong. Yeah, your opinion,
yeah,
yeah, it's wrong. No, the way you're feeling is wrong. You're wrong about that. And like, instead of being
right.
like,
Feel
well,
differently.
that sucks, yeah. Or it's like, fuck, yeah, I guess I see where you're coming from with that. I never have experienced that, so that's different for me, to hear that. Um, but we're all different. We're all unique. But I think I've gotten pretty good at it. So I'm gonna give myself 1 unit of morale for the day.
That's yeah.
I did
That's
it.
one thing that I do like to try to keep myself in check with, and like kind of your reward yourself. Like give yourself credit when you do have a moment to take a better path of empathy, because it's usually probably not even your first gut reaction. Empathy, I don't think, is a gut reaction. I think it's
Oh no,
going
yeah,
against gut reactions. You want to flip out. You have a thought or an idea or a reaction in your head that pops in instantly, and it's to go, no, hold on, stupid. Hear them out, listen, and then
it
just
is true. I mean,
show them an
yeah.
acknowledgement. Like, yeah, like, and that's the thing is, it's always going to be that way. But yeah, it is tough, but it is rewarding, and you should feel good about being empathetic, choosing of your retorts. Um, Recently I kind of snapped at my boss like 3 weeks ago, like for something that I thought was ridiculous. And I stand by that. I thought it was ridiculous, but I didn't conduct myself that well. And like, I gave it a day, came back and I go, hey, I just want to let you know from tomorrow, I'm sorry if I came off abrasive. I think I said some things that just, you know, were probably the wrong way to word things in the heat of the moment, and I should have checked myself a little bit better. I just wanted to apologize, and I think she was really appreciative of that. It was just like, wow, you came back the next day, not prompted or anything, and didn't make it into a big production, and you say, hey, I fucked up, because like you're not always going to choose the right empathetic path. I guarantee you don't. But it's kind of nice sometimes that you can forgive yourself and just go, no, don't go, I hope they didn't take that the wrong way. Tell them that you didn't mean it that way then, and be forward and, come forward with an apology. So I've tried working on that a little bit better too, is just being like, when things are calmed down, is bring it back up and admit when you handled something improperly.
Yeah, that's big. Like it's a fun part too of getting older and maturing is being able to get through negative interactions more easily
Hmm?
instead of like hanging on to them. Like I mean, some again, easier sometimes than others, but like just being able to move past it and being like, okay, this wasn't personal or this was a thing in a moment and or this relationship is important to me and I think it'll be fine. We'll just get through it. Cuz it gets easier to do that kind of thing. Well, in theory, not for everybody, but
Right,
I've
right,
appreciated that
right, right,
too.
right, right.
Just having the right kind of relationships, their honesty with the right people, and people call me out on shit. I know that they mean it, but that they're coming to it because they care about me, and it's like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, if in the moment I'm like, what the fuck? Later, I'm like, yeah, that's probably true. I don't think somebody's like telling me something to be an asshole to me. But they're just providing a context for my behavior or the words that I say that aren't great for a moment or a time. Yeah. So here's to 1 year of being older and more mature, and
So mature.
you know, being so vulnerable to share our proudest qualities. We're really doing it, you guys. Hey, you guys in the comments, tell us your most vulnerable qualities. I would share one.
In the comments.
It is.
Be as vulnerable
It's
as
the
you can
weirdest
be in
thing.
the comments.
Yeah. It's so hard to talk. I mean, for certain people with similar sensibilities, it's hard to like talk proudly about yourself or be, that kind of thing, or, because it feels,
Bragging.
I don't know, like
Cocky.
narcissistic, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like if you don't acknowledge it, sometimes that's where the anxiety and the depression can form.
Yeah.
So a little affirmation is a good deal. All right. About an hour. Those church bells are ringing down the street. I can hear them. I got to go there.
Waka waka. Got a long day
go
of
see a priest
customer
about
service in front of you.
Prayer. I know. Yeah, it's more like it. Dang it. I'd rather go to church. I'm gonna take back everything I said about empathy and customer service. I hate it.
You're all horrible.
I don't want to go.
I don't want to deal with
vacation next week. We're getting there.
Yeah, exactly. You're so close. So close.
All right.
Well,
have a good day, everybody. Peace be with you.
Yes, and also with you.
And also with you.
See, that doesn't. All right.